Could you give me just one word to describe Captain Judy?
Oh, that's a tricky one.
Sure, I could give you one word if you let me do it 4 times.
Captain Judy Rice's legacy in aviation has left a permanent mark on Epic Flight Academy, and thousands of pilots now flying for airlines around the world thanks to her careful instruction in their private pilot ground school course here at Epic. Her mission to share the passion for aviation and inspire others to earn their wings and touch the skies was a lifelong dream fulfilled through extraordinary dedication.
The classroom environment with Captain Judy was a very friendly and welcoming classroom. A lot of times you get intimidated starting flight school, but working with Judy day one in private pilot ground school, she made it where you felt okay to make mistakes and learn and work as a crew and become good friends with the classmates you have.
I had an incident with Judy that really touched me. I was working with a student who was just starting to fly, and he was very upset. He came into me and said that he was going to quit because every time he went into plane, he would get sick. And as many times as he went up, he couldn't get over it. He just felt that it wasn't going to happen for him. Judy had been on the outside of my office making a copy, and she heard this. And she said, "Ms. Phillips, may I come in and talk to the student?" I said, "Oh, I would love it, Judy." She was so compassionate with him, and she said, "I just want you to know that when I started flying, I got sick every time I went up. I found a way to get over it. If you come down to my office, I will work with you, and I know that you're going to get past this." And as it turned out, this young man got over it, continued training, and is now a captain for one of the airlines. She really helped him, and I was so proud of her and him.
She was very hands-on. She liked to personalize her teaching. She used materials, of course, but she was very, let's relate to real life, and also using memory aids so that it was easier to understand and learn. She broke everything down very well. And then she held you accountable. She had homework every night that she handed out, and the next day she was quizzing you to make sure that you were doing what you needed to be doing. Because if you didn't, then you weren't going to pace forward enough. So she was good at it. She was very good at this.
What I noticed was the friendliness between her and her students, and that really built a friendliness between the students. And so as a result, they just communicated with each other so well, and this caused a deeper understanding of the content on their part.
She was a classic teacher. She was an intuitive teacher. She loved teaching and sharing. She was selfless with her time. Class could be long over and you'd still find her sitting off somewhere in a quiet corner, working with somebody one-on-one who needed it. And she really became like a second mom to a lot of the students here. And I heard that over and over, especially from the international students that I worked with.
Her life's journey from teaching special education and raising a son to boldly changing careers in pursuit of a profession once considered not for girls is a story of true passion, undeterred by obstacles or societal expectations. The work, achievements, and accolades of Captain Judy's career are enshrined in the record books, standing as a testament for others to find inspiration.
She really had a large start in my aviation career because as a student who was doing my training full-time, she made sure that I had enough support and resources to not deal with burnout. She pulled me aside, she kind of leveled with me and said, "I understand what you're going through," and she got me access to a tutor. She got me access to extra resources, and then even after the class, she really helped me stay afloat in a time where I was doing full-time training and full-time work. So I really attribute a lot of that to her.
She was always a shoulder to lean upon when I had questions or concerns. She would give me, tips and tricks and guidance along my way. Being a more veteran pilot, she had a lot of life experience, so she was able to share those with me, and I learned from a lot of the things she experienced as a pilot.
First way she impacted my career was to get me back into a little airplane called a Grumman American. And she owned a little red Grumman. Of course, red was her favorite color. And she got me back into this Grumman, flying out of Ormond Beach. The other way, I think, was she made me remember what a small, tight-knit community aviation really is. And I met a lot of other really great aviators through Judy.
Captain Judy is one of fewer than 800 individuals worldwide who have circumnavigated the globe in an airplane. Together with her crew, including the legendary astronaut Buzz Aldrin, she embarked on this historic mission to educate and inspire. Along their journey, they connected with thousands of people across 24 countries, sharing her story, experiences, and her deep love of aviation. Their efforts promoted STEM and aviation education globally through the nonprofit organization she established, Think Global Flight, reaching more than 20,000 students.
I remember sitting in on a few of her lessons, and I love the way that she would get the students involved in aerodynamics. And more than that, there was a lesson that she taught that wasn't specifically in the curriculum. She was all about getting the students to work with each other and building camaraderie. And that in itself was a great lesson.
My favorite lesson that Judy taught in our ground school was the weight and balance lesson, because we would choose a food and drink that we would load in the aircraft, and unbeknownst to us, at the end of our training in the graduation of the ground school, she would bring that specific type of food and drink in, and we'd all celebrate drinking and eating those things.
I have to answer with the gyroscope. It's her iconic move. She has all of her videos with all of her classes showing us doing it.
Beyond her world flight, Captain Judy set a Fédération Aéronautique Internationale world speed record over a recognized course, and served as president of the National Coalition for Aviation and Space Education. She held leadership roles with Civil Air Patrol and the Experimental Aircraft Association, and developed aerospace education curricula adopted nationwide. As a certified flight instructor and advanced ground instructor, she taught and mentored more than 1,400 students during her tenure at Epic Flight Academy, where the library now bears her name in her honor. Epic is proud to house a collection of artifacts here that help tell the story of this remarkable aviator. If you find yourself in New Smyrna Beach, stop by to visit this exhibit that honors Captain Judy Rice.
That's a tricky one. One word to describe Captain Judy Rice would be dedicated.
Sure, I can give you one word if you let me do it 4 times. I mean, effervescent, that's one. Giving. She was so giving of her time and her energy and her knowledge. Enthusiastic, always about airplanes, and passionate about flying.
Special. She was so special. She knew how to make you feel individual and level with you on what you were going through, how you learned, your real life experiences, what you were going through, and she found ways to keep you motivated. And she was not just an educator, she was obviously her own established aviator, but she really did push that passion later on to everyone that she touched.
What I remember most about her is that she was always smiling, she was always happy. Her profession at one time was a teacher, so when she came to Epic, not only did she love flight and know about flight and flight training, but she was also an educated instructor.
God bless her. I cherish the time I got to know her and be friends with her, and it's such an honor to preserve her legacy here at Epic Flight Academy, which she called home for 7 years.
Captain Judy's story is one of passion, determination, education, and generosity. Her love of flight transcended textbooks, gallons of fuel burned, and hours spent in study. It was about the lives she touched, and the people she inspired, and the boundless skies she encouraged others to pursue. Visitors to Epic Flight Academy are invited to explore the memorial dedicated in her honor, where her legacy continues to inspire future generations of aviators and remind the world that no dream is ever out of reach.